Ms. May joins her mother, living beyond 100 years old. Her family throws her another party in Linstead, St. Catherine. She has a good idea as to why she is still full of life and her memory razor sharp.
I get good food that help keep you. But in the meantime, having the good food, you have to have good bed. You can't sleep in a den rakata, something. And believe they says that you're going to live long. Good food is strong. And then you have a good man beside you. You get good romance.
Like mother, like daughter, Enid Llewellyn, better known as Miss May, has followed in her late mother's footsteps, making it into the Centenarians Club. She recalled her mother, Florence Williamson, passing away at 105 years old. Miss May, now 101, is still full of life and she has all her critical faculties intact.
For once, I said, I get good food that help keep you. But in the meantime, having the good food, you have to have good bed. You can't sleep in a den rakata, something. And believe they says that you're going to live long. Good food is strong. And then you have a good man beside you. You get good romance.
When Ms. May reached the century in 2022, her family threw her a relatively large party at a guest house in Linstead, St. Catherine. Some of her relatives, including her beloved grandchildren Yvette Smith and Clive Edwards, flew in just for that grand occasion. The relatives scaled down the festivities this time round, but their love and adoration for their matriarch remains strong. Marking the 101st birthday, relatives and friends got together on Saturday, April 22 at Miss May's residence, a few steps away from the town of Linstead, St. Catherine. With her only child, Alma Clark, standing to her left, Miss May ran the knife through the relatively large birthday cake.
3! A round of applause, everybody. Wonderful, wonderful. All right, just complete the slice.
And the celebration would not be complete without Miss May putting her dancing skills to the test. A woman of gratitude, Miss May feels happy to have attained another year.
Feel nice and happy. God, I wake, I can call upon me Jesus. I sleep, I can call upon him. I walk, I can call upon him. I sit down, I can call upon him. And know that he's there for me. Okay?
Miss May was born at Colgate District near the resort town of Ocherius in St. Anne on Saturday, April 22, 1922. She did not grow up with her parents and she does not remember much about them.
All I can tell you about my mother, he carried me when I was a year and 6 months. I give to my grandmother and my grandfather. When she was going back, I did run behind her, crying. Grandfather turned around to his wife and said, bring her to me. And he catch me, turn up my little bottom, and give me 2 in hand. Only 2 in did give me. Because I was running for my mother. Don't ask me anything else about my mother. Can't tell you.
Miss May and one of her brothers were raised by their paternal grandparents, Beryl and Daniel Llewellyn, in another St. Anne community called Hyattsfield.
The relationship that I have with my mother is when I leave school and come a big young woman. That's the only time I have a relationship with my mother. All my time spent with my grandmother and my grandfather.
The centenarian recalled attending school at Breadnut Hill in her native St. Anne and at Cascade in the neighboring parish of St. Mary. She eventually learned the skill of sewing. Miss May did different jobs over the years, especially domestic work. On May 28, 1949, her life changed forever and for good. That's when she gave birth to her only child, Alma.
You know that, me turn around and me come and have a little baby girl. Anywhere me going, she's with me, and that is my big achievement.
Miss May means the world to her humble, caring daughter and to her daughter's children.
She's a very loving mother. And I have any problem, I can always go to her, and she always give me advice. But sometimes I don't take the advice. I just do my own thing, you know. I feel so happy, proud to have a mother like her. And if anything happened to her, I don't know how I'm going to cope. But somehow I will cope by the help of God. She help us, you know, do things, you know, all the time. And I always quarrel with her. I say, Mom, give it a rest. She said, no, leave me alone. Let me do what I can do.
Clark is not the only one basking in her mother's attainment of the milestone. Some friends and relatives who attended the 101st birthday party also lauded Miss May.
It's a privilege for me to be here, to join in this celebration. You know, I think God has kept you this far, even for me, because there are many times when I want to come and see you, and God has kept you so that I can come and meet you, even in this fashion. And, you know, as we go on each day, you know, with God, all things are possible. And because you have given God your life, and you lean upon Him, and not unto your own understanding, then today you are still celebrating, and God has kept you. And I believe, even though the first speaker said that you are here, might be for a purpose. Yes, you are here for a purpose, because even in counseling, I think as people come around you, then you have words of advice for them, and you share past experience. That is good, and God has kept you even for that reason. So today I'm also joining in the celebrator in saying happy birthday, and may God bless you and keep you, that we might continue celebrating like this until God calls you. Thank you.
What I like about Miss May, he always like baking. He like to bake. Up to now I have some drops and toto in my fridge that she baked for me. Man, Miss Alma, bless. And I wish you the best of 101 batting. I'm at the other crease. Yes. And I wish even 75 I couldn't make it. But I wish you the best and the best of the best.
Happy birthday, Miss May. I love you so much. Answer me, Miss May. I love you so much, Miss May. When we come down here at the liquor of work, me and Miss May put on the music and we dance and we do everything. And it's a good lady. And Miss May, happy birthday to you. Make the Lord go with you. And I hope you live to see many, many, many more here. I love you so much, Miss May. And your daughter here. All right?
Thank you.
Yes. Okay.
My aunt's still doing some things that a lot of young people cannot do. Because when I talk with my cousin there, her daughter, every morning she's still doing push-up in bed. She wants to grate a coconut and cassava and things like that. Still want to cook her dog food. So we give God thanks for the health that He has given her, and we wish for her and a very productive life. And when I say productive, you know, she passed childbearing age, so it would not be children, but anything else that is productive in her life. Good health and strength for the rest of her life. So I just want you to join with me and just put your hands together and say happy 101 birthday to Aunt May. 1, 2, 3. Happy 101 birthday, Aunt May. God bless you.
Marcia Tavares, who was at the celebration last year, was back there again, representing the Methodist church where Ms. May worships in Linstead Town. Tavares told the gathering that she visits the centenarian monthly to give her the Holy Communion.
101 is a blessing. It has to come from God. It has to. And if He has kept you till now, He still has plans for you to do something more. Yeah? You can't sit by idle because your faculties are sharp. You are in touch with your God. Yes? And so when you listen to Him, just maybe He has something more for you to do. Not necessarily to be on the roads, no, but right here in the house. I don't know what it is, but God never leaves us idle. Never. When we are in touch with Him, He always has something. Maybe your job now is to go into some serious prayer for Jamaica. Maybe. Yeah? He uses whoever He wants. And age is not a hindrance when it comes to God. No way. You can be very young, like little Samuel who He called. When He called Samuel didn't even quite understand what was going on. Right? It was the priest who had to tell him, it's the Lord who is calling you now. So when He calls, say, yes, answer Him, I hear you. Right? And so, my dear sister, I thank God that we can have another celebration.
And when it comes to thanking God, Ms. May cannot be easily outdone. In her eyes, her Maker is all important.
Oh, He's very much important. You cannot let. If you walk, you talk, you sleep, everything, and you don't have God in you, what do you think? You're dead but your 2 eyes open.
Ms. May grew up attending the Salvation Army Church in St. Anne with her grandparents.
I never baptized. I confirm in church.
During adulthood, Ms. May, who was married to Simon Forbes, lived at Guy's Hill and Linstead, both in St. Catherine. And she also lived in Britain along with her husband and daughter.
My husband went there. When he went there, he sent for me. Right? When he sent for me, then I go.
Ms. May recalled that it was Britain's cold that forced her, like many Jamaicans, to return to her native island for good. Her husband died in 1988, a year that is forever etched in her mind, partly because it was then that Hurricane Gilbert devastated much of Jamaica.
Because in gone from him, when was it 88 Gilbert blow?
Yes.
Really? When my husband died, same year when Gilbert blow.
Asked how she eventually would like to be remembered, Ms. May said as someone who inculcated good values in those around her.
Right now, if I did gone now, they can't remember me. Because the first thing they say, the grand teach them, have manners. Have manners. And everything will go right. I want to see them come out. I want to see, first of all, I want to see them take up Christ in their life. They walk with Him, talk with Him. Next, you're going through, have manners.
On behalf of senior videographer Dean Alcott, I am Horace Mills, reporting for the Jamaica Beacon in Linstead, St. Catherine.